Hello, welcome. It is me, Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. We are talking about the horoscopes for February. Get ready. First of all, I want to say, before I even say get ready, it's like always a warning. But listen here. I'm going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. For each rising sign, look at your sun sign, look at your moon sign. If you look at all three, you will be prepared for the month. That's one. And that's why I'm also saying get ready. We have the 0 degrees in Aries energy. That's a lot going on. We have an eclipse. We're already feeling that energy. But today it's all about you individually. How does that 0 in Aries reset hit you in your chart and what house it will hit, and where the solar eclipse is blasting and opening a new door because it's conjunct the North Node. I'm going sign by sign. I'm also going to pull some tarot too. I don't know. I'm torn between the winter tarot and my basic tarot that I use all the time. If you want to know how this is going to personally affect you, then stay tuned.
Danyell, Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader, astrologer divine, reading the natal chart, breaking down the signs, seeing life through the lens of astrology, mapping the stars, decoding psychology. Cancer sun, Scorpio moon, deep as the sea.
First of all, for everyone, I want you to look at the dates. February 1st, we have the full moon of Leo, Mercury entering Pisces. I do want you to know that Uranus stations direct. It stops retrograding. Venus will enter Pisces. Mercury will enter Pisces. Then Mercury will, the pre-shadow phase of it retrograding will start. And Saturn will enter Aries. The sun will enter Aries. And then the sun is going to square Uranus. And then Mars is going to square Uranus. Woo, a lot of surprises. Let's get started with our Aries. Okay, Aries. February is going to bring that Leo full moon in that first February 1st, and this is activating your creativity, your confidence, visibility. You're being asked to step into the leadership, maybe without ego. Okay, this is you versus a group or you versus a friendship. You expressing yourself. Maybe everyone's like, oh my gosh, calm down, you're too much on stage. Now Venus, Mercury, all this will enter Pisces in February, so all this is in your 12th house, and this is a lot of energy about releasing and forgiving. Maybe there's a romantic or emotional patterns are going to resurface. Pay attention to what drains you. You want to seek solitude. You want to be alone. You're going to be tapping more into spirituality. There's something that's going to be redone far as releasing, forgiving, maybe an end of a cycle of something of some sort. There is going to be an end of something. Yes, but at the same time, Saturn enters Aries February 13th, and that's going to be in your first house. And it begins a long process of a personal reset. This is somewhat of like a Saturn return. There are some lessons and some delays that's dealing with you personally. This is about discipline, boundaries, and responsibility, and thinking long term. So take the lessons and be serious. Also, too, this is a sign of that you have a heavy load, and this could be a good thing in a positive way, that there's some new challenges come your way, but they could be good challenges, you know. The eclipse is happening in your 11th house, and this is something about friendships. Maybe that could be ending. Maybe you are starting to join a new club. This is like something is being cut out, but something is starting at the same time. You could be really radical at the same time. Maybe you have a new social mission. So that eclipse is already activating those things in the 11th house. Let me know what you are feeling with that. But this could be something about social justice. This could be something about technology, or dealing with your hopes and dreams, or really getting into technology. And there's something new and something ending at the same time. Okay. But remember, Neptune is in Aries 2, and they're both conjuncting in that first house. So you are refinding yourself. There is a vision happening. Also too, this is a month about a lot about money and self-worth, because that's Uranus will be direct in that second house. So finances and thinking outside of the box with finances starts to move forward, and thinking about the future with finances. You push to act fast. Maybe there's some financial risk there. Now Mars is going to square that Uranus, and there is going to be a pushback when it comes to you thinking outside of the box when it comes to your finances. Get ready for that. And so that is what we have. And let me see, make sure. So when Mars, you have a lot of stuff already opposing you thinking outside of the box and being creative. When Uranus goes direct, when it comes to the finances, that should be getting better for you. A lot of surprises though. and a lot of thinking outside of the box. Mercury retrograde in that 12th house, though, could be some secrets repeating itself or resurfacing or something dealing with healing. All of my Aries, this is going to be the month of rebirth, transformation. There is definitely a Pisces energy is very strong. There is going to be a death of some sort. Something will be ending or is already ending, and you need to release. There needs to be healing. You need to be tapping into spirituality. Maybe you need to get therapy because that is the Scorpio card too. So you really need to go deeper and not focus on the surface level. All right. See you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Taurus, let's see what we have here. We have the Leo full moon that is activated in that 4th house. This is emotions with the past. This is something dealing with your mom. Highlights home, family, and emotional security. Something reaches a peak or demands attention. Now, Uranus goes direct in the sign Taurus, and that happens literally for you, thinking outside of the box and being different. It restarts a personal evolution that may feel uncomfortable but necessary. Maybe there is something moving fast or a lot of shocks. I do know some Taurus risings. There was a shock and a lot of news for them, a lot of challenges because who wants surprises? But you do need to know you need to be flexible, and it's going to move forward. Later on this year, we'll move to Gemini, and it will be a lot of shocks and surprises when it comes to finances. So now it's about you personally, and it could be dealing with your physical body, but that would change. The sun will be squaring Uranus on the 15th. So get ready for that energy. There could be something dealing with the ego, challenges with flexibility and power control. That sun in Aquarius is in your 10th house of career and your reputation, and now it doesn't get along with you. So there's a big challenge happening around, could be happening before the 15th. And Venus is going to enter Pisces, and that happens in your 11th house. This could be dealing with friendships and a lot of softness, or maybe even you're in a network or you're falling in love with a friend. Something could be happening there. Neptune and Saturn, Neptune's already in Aries, but Saturn enters Aries in a 12th house in February. A lot of seriousness about spirituality and solitude. A lot of this also could represent death and ending as well. You're building the inner sanctum. Really focusing on the self spiritually and emotionally. You find yourself wanting to work behind scenes, and you're more committed and not into the forefront. A lot of lessons about spirituality, a lot of lessons about things that are very unknown. This is a lot of restriction about addiction too. Yeah, and this eclipse is happening in your 10th house. You're already feeling this like everyone else. There is something new happening in your career, your reputation, and it's highlighting something. Maybe you are something professional life or a promotion, or maybe you're resigning, or maybe you're rebranding, and it's very different and out of the box. But there is something new added, and at the same time, something ending. Now, Mercury is retrograding in your 11th house in the month of February. And so as Saturn leaves, those lessons and hard burdens when it comes to your future and your hopes and dreams and technology, now you have Mercury retrograding. So this is the energy of really having a lot of issues with technology and AI. This is also going to be some issues with friendships or networks or a group. Be careful what they say. It could be some rumors. Just be aware of that. Anger or frustration can surface around the 27th around your career because you have that sun squaring Uranus, then you'll have that Mars squaring Uranus. So be aware of the frustration and aggression. Okay, Reinvention is uncomfortable, but it is necessary. Let's pull a card for all of my Taurus risings. This month is going to be a huge focus on friendships. We have the 3 of Cups. So all that Aquarius energy, first of all, friendships at work could be one thing. Also, too, Mercury retrograding in 11th house is going to be a big thing for you, too. So just know the overall theme is friendships. You will get some support, but there will be a lot of it repeating and redoing and internalizing as well. All right. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Geminis, welcome. This month activates your voice, especially in that full moon in Leo in the 3rd house. And you are very serious about your voice. This could bring conversations, announcements, realizations out in the open. There could be a conflict with a sibling, because that represents that the sibling who likes to be on stage, or maybe that sibling is very confrontational. I find that the Leo moon is a lot of conflict, a lot of anger, a lot of passion. And now it's going against the group dynamic. And the group dynamic could be very adventurous, or it could be the philosophy of the group of some sort, because it deals with the ninth house, or traveling of some sort. But there's just stubbornness happening at the same time that deals with emotions. Mercury is going to retrograde, and the pre-shadow retrograde starts February 11th. And that's going to happen in your 10th house. And that's going to be about your career, your public reputation. You might maybe want to slow down and revise a lot of things. Anything dealing with the building of yourself, your career. There could be some confusion around that period, around that area of your life. Saturn and Neptune, they are going to meet in that 11th house. Neptune's already there. And that 11th house does represent friendships. It represents hopes and dreams. It represents your community. And you are no longer the small talk. You want to build a network and have it your soul aligned with purpose with this energy. This is a fresh start. At the same time, it likes to move slow. It likes to learn a lot of lessons. And you're going to learn a lot of lessons when it comes to friendships. You're going to learn to move slow and maybe weed out some stuff. A lot of seriousness with that. The eclipse happened in your 9th house. And that eclipse was something that sparked already some energy dealing with travel, maybe higher learning, maybe your belief system, maybe what you view the world. So that energy is already started and you're feeling it. It's something new that has joined the party though. Now, Mercury retrograde, that happens again with the Saturn and the Neptune. No, not the Saturn and Neptune, with the Saturn leaving the 10th house, but it happens in your 10th house. So there could be a lot of career issues, confusions around career. Maybe you're refining your goals. Maybe you're launching new ones. But it's a redoing and repeating. Anything dealing with career when Mercury starts to retrograde, I would read anything you're signing as far as your future with the career. Okay. Uranus goes direct in your 12th house. A lot of surprises when it comes to solitude, spirituality, confusions, hidden enemies. That starts to go direct. So you could probably be aware of the things that they're doing. But when it goes direct, you will have some surprises. So be aware of that. But also too, this is an unexpected release and forgiving kind of energy. Okay. Or unexpected death. Now, we have the Justice card for you, and the Justice is all about fairness. This also deals with law, so there could be something in February dealing with law. Justice also is a ruler of Venus. Venus is going to be in that 10th house of career. A lot of harmony, a lot of fairness. You want to practice that this whole month in February. Also dealing with friendships. Try not to be passive aggressive. Focus on sharing, focus on mirroring some behaviors, focus on the partner too. This also could be a strong energy of aesthetics. So focus on aesthetics, but something dealing with law could possibly be going on here. All right. I will see you guys next time. Oh, wait, Mars and Uranus. I didn't say this. Mars, the Sun and Mars in that 9th house will be squaring the energy in your 12th house. So a lot of things that you are dealing with around the world are very adventurous about. Your philosophy is not going great with your solitude or your secret enemy. So a lot of aggression towards that. Mental overload. Rest is productive. Sudden news, maybe traveling could be an issue. Stop intellectualizing and listen to your nervous system. All right. I'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, Cancers, welcome. Let's see what we have for February for you. First of all, we start off February with the Leo full moon, right? And that Leo full moon is in your 2nd house of finances and what you value. So there are some self-esteem or some personal issues or personal values happening here. Emotional spending. Maybe you're trying to validate something because Leo is very gaudy and it likes attention, but it's with something you value, even the voice, right? There's emotions there regarding all that. I find that the Leo moon is very confrontational. So be aware of that. It's going to be something dealing with conflict on what you value. And that usually sometimes is money for a lot of people. It does not go with the 8th house energy. And the 8th house energy is all about shared resources. It's also about things that are very taboo, things that are very mysterious. The sun may highlight some taboo issues there. Okay. Now, Pisces season, we're going to have Venus and Mercury enter Pisces in the month of February. That is in your 9th house of travel. This is also Saturn will be leaving that ninth house, so you won't have any burdens about being adventurous, or if you're trying to go to school, a higher learning school, or if you're dealing with something with law and court, that Saturn is going to leave there and go into the 10th house and bring some delays when it comes to your career. That's another story. But first, let me just say, when Venus and Mercury enters that Pisces energy, there could be a lot of issues with traveling. If you are planning on traveling around February while Mercury is retrograding, just make sure you pre-plan everything before Mercury starts to retrograde. Okay, so take your time with that energy. Now, earlier I said Saturn is going to enter Aries, and it's going to be in your career. This is about being accountable when it comes to your public image and your career. Step into authority. This also could be meaning that you could be stepping into a new job that's giving you a heavy load, which is great, but it makes you very serious, or you could be a mentor of some sort. This is the peak of professional momentum. You are manifesting your dream job. You are being asked to step into your true authority. At the same time, this is someone who could be addicted to work, always working, or maybe there's confusion at work. Just be aware of that. Saturn makes things delayed and long term. So you have to learn the hard lessons, and you have to stay committed and consistent when it comes to work. February 15th, we have friendship and community tensions exposed, where you feel unsupported. That Uranus in Taurus is retrograding. It'll be more direct. And when it's direct, then you will have some surprises. Okay, some unexpected surprises back in the friendships or groups or things dealing with your hopes and dreams. That eclipse also happens there. And that eclipse, the eclipse happens in your 8th house. And when it happens in your 8th house, there is something dealing with your finances or taxes or an inheritance. It's settling some emotional debt there, and you probably already have that issue. This also is the house of rebirth. This also is the house of therapy. And Mercury I already said Mercury retrograding, but loyalty shouldn't cost your stability, because also all those planets in the 8th house will be trining Uranus, Mars, and the Sun. So a lot of aggression, maybe towards your friends, maybe something that's very taboo and secretive happening there. But it could be some entanglements with finances. Let's see what we have here. We have the 8 of Cups. It's in reverse. So this is someone who's not walking away. And you need to walk away from what no longer serves you, but you're staying. So be aware of that. What can we do with that energy? Don't be scared of the competition. This is competition, and you're not walking away from the competition, or you're adding to some competition. It's definitely conflict, and you're constantly having this conflict. And maybe you're afraid of having a conflict and you're avoiding a conflict. That could be a possibility. And you're scared to walk away because there's some conflict. So be aware of that. I will walk away if I was you. All right. I will see you next time. Bye. Okay, Leos, let's see what we have for you. Wait, did I skip Cancers, or was I was already on Cancers? Okay, so Leos. Hello, Leos. The full moon is happening in your first house, okay? That happens February 1st. This is emotional peak about truths. Your identity may take center stage. You may feel pulled between personal needs and collective expectations, relationship tensions. Just be ready for that. You know, all your open enemies in your partnerships or your business partners, partnerships across the board, or friendships, even dealing with law, is emotionally going away. Causing conflict. They're opposing you, you personally. So that is what we have with the full moon. You can be very emotional, and that emotion comes out as anger, like a lion. So be aware of that. Now, there's a big shift with Saturn and Neptune. Neptune is already in Aries, but Saturn will be joining that, and that will be joining in your 9th house. You're building a new life on philosophy. You might commit to a long-term academic path, or maybe a spiritual journey. This is the house of religion. This also is the house of astrology too. But this is also having some adventure, and there's some delays in that. This could be a lot of issues with travel. Just be aware of that. But when you have Saturn conjunct Neptune, I have several videos on that. But I will say that this could be having some hopes and dreams and making it a reality when it comes to travel. When Saturn sits by itself, though, just know that there's a lot of lessons when traveling, just and committing to traveling of some sort. Now, on the 15th, relationship dynamics will shock your ego as someone challenges your authority and pride. May be happening a little bit before the 15th. Uranus will be squaring Mars and the Sun this month. And Uranus is unexpected surprises in your career, and that goes direct this month. So being different, being out of the box, having an intellectual energy, that starts to be more of a serious thing, and especially when it comes to finances and Taurus and being committed, that starts to happen when it goes direct. However, it will clash with a partnership, a friendship, or something dealing with law. Be ready for that. Now, the eclipse happened in your 7th house. I wonder what new friendship you had, or maybe something dealing with harmony and thinking outside of the box. This is the ring of fire. It falls in your relationships. A sudden new beginning with a partnership, or a sudden final end, which is a new beginning of something. Being authentic is really key here with this energy. Mercury retrogrades in that 8th house. Venus will soon enter the 8th house. Know that this is dealing with finances, and there could be a lot of chaos or confusion when it comes to shared resources, taxes, inheritances, or being addicted to something that is very taboo. Now, February 27th, again, power struggles. Power struggles escalate publicly and professionally. Flexibility keeps you in control. Okay. This is the month of thinking in lack, not having resources, not having finances. I'm sure that's what that Uranus going direct, or that Uranus squaring everything and causing some financial problems when it comes to your reputation. But whatever it is, you feel like with tangible items, you feel like you don't have the resources. Okay. Page of Wands, you need to have drive. You need to have momentum. Or maybe there's a message coming away to help you spark the passion. You need to listen to that. Or maybe there's a young fire sign who's around you. Listen to what they're saying or follow their lead, because they can help you out in the month of February. But you need to get that spark, that drive, that passion back up, because it may be lacking. And once you get that back up, then the lacking, the negativity will change. All right. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, all my Leos. Okay. So the full moon February 1st is happening in your 1st house. A lot of aggression with the self. Okay. You will probably be emotionally aggressive. Okay. Leo is very confrontational. It doesn't back down. There's a lot of courage. Now emotion is added there. So the group is annoyed by you, or you are annoyed by the group. Okay. Also, there was an eclipse there happening. You're probably already feeling this energy. The eclipse February 17th is causing either a new friendship or an end of an old friendship. This also could be dealing with law, aesthetics, and your harmony. Just whatever you deem to bring harmony in your life. There's something cut out to bring something new. Okay, now also to the Mars in Aquarius, the Sun in Aquarius, they are going to square Uranus, and that is in your 10th house. Now, Uranus in your 10th house is a lot of surprises and unexpected, very intellectual, or a lot of AI and technology, but it's something that's very traditional at the same time, which is very bizarre to say, but it's like almost like, science and food, like farming, science and farming, AI and farming. So something that's very traditional, a traditional way of doing something, and something that you value, finances too, and food, resources. So it's something that you value at work, in your career. Your reputation is, first of all, that planet is going to go direct. So the surprises will be coming back. But that's not going to work really well with a partnership, a friendship, or your harmony or law. In February, there's aggression or something. The sun is going to highlight something that you're not quite liking, or your partner, your business partner cannot like it. So it may not have to do with you, but it could be dealing something with your partnership. Now, Saturn is going to go into sign Aries in the 9th house. So this is being more serious about travel and delays with travel. But when it conjuncts Neptune, then you get the energy of realism happening with things that you dream and your intuition, or there's delays with some compassion when it comes to to your philosophy, higher learning, or travel, or being adventurous. Okay. Now, Mercury is going to retrograde in the sign Pisces. That's going to happen in your 8th house. This is a lot of confusion when it comes to anything written or communicated, when it comes to shared resources, taxes, or inheritances. This is also the house of death and rebirth. So there could be rumors or something coming back and forth when it comes to that kind of topic. This also is a house of things that are very therapeutic, and getting therapy and getting inner therapy and seeking solitude with anything that's very addictive, but also that's very taboo at the same time. Okay. Now, what else do we have? I think that's pretty much all that we have. Let me pull some cards for you guys. We have a new energy, new drive, new spark in February. A lot of charity, a lot of giving for you in the month of February. A lot of things of your past coming back, or you maybe want to be comfortable in your past. Now, your house of your past is the 4th house, and that's in the sign Scorpio. The ruler of Scorpio is Mars, so there could be something from your past surprising you when it comes to your career and your reputation. And then lastly, we have the Strength card, which is very Leo rising energy, right? So the Strength card is saying to be yourself, to be courageous, but also have some compassion. Wear your heart on your sleeve. Be careful of the conflicts, though, at the beginning of the month, which is February 1st. All right, so I will see you guys next time. Bye. Virgos, I feel like reading of the tarot is more stronger than astrology, but we'll talk about the astrology first briefly, and then I'll do more tarot. I feel like as I'm doing this video, you guys are like dead in the middle, and I'm getting the feeling of how I want to go, and we'll do more tarot for you guys because it's more direct, but we'll briefly talk about the astrology because you're probably here for that. Who knows why you're here? You're here for predictions, okay? Now, Leo full moon, that happens in your 12th house. Emotions about something releasing, forgiving, something at the end. There's some type of closure here. It could be very unconscious, something very spiritual. A lot of conflict behind closed doors. No one can see it, and it's going against your coworkers, your day-to-day work. Something like that is happening. Mercury is going to retrograde in Pisces. Mercury is your ruler. So when it retrogrades in Pisces in February, this is going to cause some issues for you. That happens in your 7th house. Friendships, there could be some liars, some deceitfulness, something that's happening with a friendship, or even an open enemy. Now, Venus will enter that too, so you will get a lot of attraction with that and be attracted to aesthetics and art and creativity. At the same time, just know that there's some fogginess there. Saturn will enter the 8th house, and so you will have a lot of delays when it comes to inheritances or taxes, a lot of lessons, maybe like an audit of some sort. It will conjunct Uranus, so Saturn likes to be serious, Uranus likes to be open, so things that are very secretive, maybe there's no boundaries, but Saturn's going to bring that seriousness there. There is like a Saturn return when it comes to shared resources, though, like meaning that a lot of lessons there. Okay, now we did have an eclipse happen in the 6th house, and that eclipse in the 6th house, that is dealing with losing and gaining at the same time. Something when it comes to work, even if you lost a pet of some sort. This is a house of servitude. This is a house of day-to-day work. This is a house of mentally organization. And now you are clipping something out to gain something new. So this is already happening. Also, this is a house of health. So there could be a sudden reboot in your daily routine, and you may quit a job of some sort. Now, on the 15th, all that energy is going to have some aggression when it comes to the 9th house, Uranus. So you'll feel this in the middle of the month and towards the end of the month. A lot of aggression and anger and power struggles or the ego, and it's dealing with maybe even travel. Maybe it's dealing with something that you believe, because this is a house of belief, or higher education, okay? But just be ready for that. Precision won't save you. Adaptability will. Uranus will go direct this month, and it's surprises when it comes to travel. Now we have the Judgment card in reverse. You're not following your calling. You need to follow your calling. This is also to someone who's not being awakened. It's like you want to stay asleep, you want to stay dormant. So there needs to be some awakening. You need to really tap in that spirituality. It looks like that full moon is going to be a big deal for you. The Queen of Cups is about spirituality, your intuition, also about relationships. So I think February is going to be a big issue. You're probably already feeling something with your relationships, solitude, spirituality, and your intuition. So use all those things. That's better for you. Lastly, we have the Six of Wands. Everyone's going to be like, look at you. You're on stage. This is amazing. And it looks like the 10th house is ruled by Mercury. And when Mercury retrogrades and Venus goes in Pisces, I think those two things will help you when it comes to everyone applauding you on stage. Okay. But that Leo energy in the 12th house could cause everyone to look at you too. So be aware that this is the month that everyone's going to be looking at you. All right. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Libras, we have the full moon happening on the 1st, and this happens in your 11th house. So there's something that you're going to reassess about your friendships and network. There is some opposition with some friends, which is very interesting, that is happening in the 5th house. So their expression and all that stuff. Just know that this is friendships, goals, community, can't see eye to eye, and emotions are very confrontational with this energy. Now, Pisces season, you're going to have Mercury retrograding and Venus will enter the 6th house. This is dealing with health, routines, emotional burnout. Slow down. There could be some glitches at work, and maybe people are spreading rumors, coworkers at work. There could be something about your health that's said, and then it's like, oops, never mind. That's not what we meant to say. So be aware of that. Pisces does represent the feet, represents ending and death, or even addiction. So that could be a possibility of rumors with those things. Now, and at the same time, Neptune enters Aries and it conjuncts Neptune. Neptune will cause us some delays starting this month in your house of friendships, partnerships, aesthetics, and court. Now, when it conjuncts Neptune, then you have this big energy of soulmate energy, long-term marriages, the dream. And it's like the dream and the compassion is now working together, and there's a reality, and it's really about the self, but then there's also relationships involved there. Emotional or financial dependency becomes more obvious around the 15th because you do have that Mars and the Sun will be opposing the 8th house, Uranus. So expect the unexpected. Expect some anger around something that's very taboo and dark, or something dealing with something that's very deep or very intense. Creative or romantic tensions explode as well. That could be a big thing. Even children and fertility. There's some aggression around maybe even that when it comes to something that's very taboo and very mysterious, or very like a rebirth of it as well. Okay, that eclipse happened in your 5th house. And this is a sudden burst of creativity, or maybe you're expecting, again, a child or romance, and you're being called to play grandfather or father or something like that, or mother or daughter or grandmother. Just know there's something with fertility, the ego, self-expression, and creativity. And there has been a big theme already, and now it continues to be a theme. And then it will all turn into that 6th house of work and health as well. Okay, let's see what we have here. The 6 of Pentacles. This is a time to give and receive. A lot of charity work, and this could be tangible. And then we also have the 6. Both 6 here. So if you see 6s out and about, think of this and think about that you need to be comfortable. It needs to be something very familiar. It needs to be something for your past. And when that happens, you need to give and receive. You do have Jupiter in the sign Cancer in that 10th house. This will help you when it comes to your career and your reputation. Because I know we have those issues in the 6th house, but this will also be very beneficial when it comes to your health and your work as well, your work dynamic. All right. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Scorpios, let's see what we have here. The full moon on the 1st is happening in your 10th house. So there's emotions when it comes to career and work. And if it's even conjunct your IPSI, you're really going to be feeling this. You're going to be feeling very confrontational everyone's looking at you kind of energy. This is your image, your public image, your career, your long-term goals, okay? Your recognition, exposure, you are on stage. Now, Pisces season boosts creativity, romance, passion. Mercury will pre-shadow phase, retrograde there, and then eventually retrograde. Now, this is also dealing with some rumors and speculation on children and fertility as well. Venus will go there, so a lot of love when it comes to your children, or a lot of love with creativity and really being happy, maybe even with a romance of some sort, but that old romance could be coming back as well. Now you have a big shift with Saturn entering Aries, and it enters Aries in your 6th house. So this could be some negative news about your health. You could become very disciplined maybe as a healer, because this is a house of healing. Maybe your daily work now has been more spiritual. You may be having an overall physical habits, like changing things with that and being more disciplined and more serious with that. So, and we also have Chiron, the healer, in the sign Aries in that 6th house too. But just know that it's his health. Now Uranus goes direct in the 7th house. So sudden surprises with relationships and aesthetics, and maybe even you thinking more intellectually when it comes to your harmony. Now at the same time, there's aggression. So your partner, business partner, relationship, something at court could be very surprising and shocking, and it causes you to have some anger at home or something with your past. That eclipse happens in that same house of home, and something in your past, a sudden move or family dynamics, or maybe you had a reset. You're breaking free from some ancestral things from the past. You're currently feeling that already, and it's bringing something new. But this is home and family tensions. Change the dynamic, or it will change you for sure. Okay, let's see what we have for you guys. 4 of Pentacles. Keep the cards close to your chest. This is also, I would think, like, you don't need to say everything or give everything away, even your physical energy. But this is also the energy of saving money. Save some money. 9 of Cups, very positive. Make a wish. Also, be careful of not being boastful, especially with that full moon at the beginning of the month. But this is someone who's counting all their money. They're very content. Like, look at everything I have. February might be a really good month for you guys. Can't say that about everyone else. But it might overall help you, because this is very positive, and it's a great time to save money, or even think about your health and also your gut, that stomach area as well. All right, I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Sagittarius rising, Sagittarius placements, welcome. Now the full moon on the 1st happens in the 9th house, and it goes against siblings. It goes against driving, day-to-day travel. So you could be arguing in the car during the full moon. Okay, it activates travel, education, your belief system, your perspectives. With all the politics happening and world events happening, there could be some confrontation, and you're communicating that maybe you're even doing it online. So be wary of that. Pisces energy happens in your 4th house. Mercury will be retrograding in the house of home. So gossips, problems at home. If you have to write a contract about a house being redone, chaos at home, family communicating, there's confusion there. I wouldn't renovate around this time, but you can definitely, when Venus hits Pisces, plan to decorate, do the Pinterest board and all that stuff. But when Mercury stops retrograding, then start doing everything. It's really about the organization of everything that could be causing a problem. Now, we had the eclipse happen in your 3rd house, and you're probably feeling this already, but this is communication across the board. A lot of glitches with communication. Could be issues with your community, your day-to-day travel. Are they doing construction work or something? But something's ending, and it's going to start something new. It could be very shocking. Also, too, this is a house of the voice. So a sudden piece of news, and it changes your voice, literally, how you speak, podcasts. And even something that you're learning at the beginning. On the 15th, there could be some chaos or some tech issues, some miscommunication, and it goes against your day-to-day routines. So a lot of glitches. I would think tech glitches for sure. Maybe even something dealing with health that shocks you. Mars is also going to be causing some anger there. The sun's going to be causing some issues with your ego with this situation. And with the situation, I mean with your community, with the technology, with communication. Okay. And you could be angry. This is someone who is has a routine to post, and they say something very angry or something very out of the box, or a surprise, something surprise in their community, in their day-to-day life. It's like, you thought you were going to be able to take this freeway and you can't take that freeway. Surprise, car accident of some sort, for sure. And what else do we have? Saturn is going to enter your 5th house. And when Saturn enters your 5th house, this is about your hobby, your not your hobby, creativity, legacy. This is about taking creativity and joy very seriously. This is about like a dream project you had and now you get to really do it. Neptune's there, so it could be addicted to. Your child could have an addiction because it represents fertility as well in children. But being very serious and maybe even being a new grandfather or new grandparent. We have the Queen of Wands here, and a Queen of Wands is saying in the month of February, a lot of passion, a lot of creativity for sure. So in February, I would say have fun and voice the fun, be bold, be courageous, be creative, follow your passions and keep doing. And when someone says no, it's the month of February is the month of saying yes. All right. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Capricorns, let's see what we have for you. First of all, the eclipse was in your 2nd house. Okay, so you're already feeling this energy of things that you valued and something has left. With that energy, a sudden unplugging from an old source of income to make you more innovative. Earning money in a very Aquarian way. So through technology, through communication, through AI, through finances, something's happening there. Now, all those planets, the Sun and Mars, they're going to square Uranus. So that means that something could be moving very fast and it's very aggressive, especially when it comes to a legacy or your child, or something unexpected can happen with creativity as well. Are you just having fun in a youthful manner and it goes against what you value? Okay, now the full moon is also activating this eclipse that we're already feeling, but the full moon in Leo on the February 1st, a lot of emotions when it comes to finances, a lot of emotions when it comes to anything dealing with mysterious things that are very taboo, shared finances, trust, emotional vulnerability. Mercury is going to retrograde. It's going to hit that 3rd house. Car trouble, tech glitches, cross wires with neighbors, backup all your data, anything you sign, double check it. If there's a rumor, if there's an email, just take your time with this. This is also the house of pranks. In Mercury is pranking, so a lot of pranks and doom scrolling. Be aware of the doom scrolling. Saturn is going to enter your 4th house. This is if you're into buying real estate. There may be some issues here. Now, it will conjunct Neptune at the beginning, so you could be rebuilding your inner foundation. There may be a literal home, but maybe it's more spiritual. This also could be a mother or father kind of issue happening here, and something very spiritual, but and it's bringing a serious tone to it. A lot of things from the past here of the self. Okay. Also, to financial or pleasure related impulsiveness creates consequences because you have that 2nd house clashing with the 5th house as well. Okay, joy needs responsibility to last. Let's see what else we have. The 9 of Pentacles. Ooh, this is self-made energy. Very positive here when it comes to finances, when it comes to your career, when it comes to your home, building it on your own. Ooh, this month of February is going to bring you new ideas, new clarity, new awareness, a voice of some sort to speak up as well. Maybe that's what that Mercury retrograding and that Saturn leaving that 3rd house will help out. Lastly, there is some heartbreak here. A lot of heartbreak, not a lot. Heartbreak. Okay, this could be literally the heart with that Uranus in that 5th house. This could be literally the heart, but this is also, like a shock. Like, oh my gosh, we were in love and now it's like, you're not in love with me. That's what that represents. What can we do with that? I'll pull a card. What can we do with that heartbreak? It's a time to be solo. Okay, you don't need to be in a relationship. This is someone who's loving himself, learning himself, a lot of self-help, a lot of learning lessons on your own. Okay, and being enlightened and taking care of your health, because that's also Virgo, paying attention to the details, because with that Uranus in that 5th house, maybe you weren't. All right, I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, all of my Aquariuses, welcome. Ooh, we had the eclipse happen in your first house, okay? There were some changes about the self happening here. Now, we have a full moon happening on the first for all my Aquariuses. This is emotions involving you. It's going against you. It's like, why are my emotions over there acting funny? Okay, you need to balance the independence with the emotional accountability. The eclipse happened in this first house, so something new about yourself has started, but something also ended as well. Mars and the sun in that first house of self, you're very aggressive when it comes to someone in the home, someone something from your past. It could be dealing with your mom or anything that makes you feel safe and comfort. There's some aggression happening. It's very unexpected. It's very out of the box. It's going to be a surprise. The sun will highlight it, and then the Mars will be angry about it. Okay. Also, to the seventh house, your partner will be emotional, not you. I'm sorry. So your partner will be emotional, and you're like, look, I'm just trying to be free. What's going on? I'm trying to be out of the box. I'm trying to be social. I'm trying to communicate. I'm thinking about my future. And you over there being emotional and causing some conflict. That's the thing too. Now, Mercury is going to retrograde and then Venus will enter that second house. This is finances coming your way. But that Mercury is making it a little foggy. And finances for you is a little foggy anyway, Aquarius rising, but it's fine. It means you could probably be getting money in a very spiritual way or a very compassionate way, or if there's charity or you have a charity that you really deem very important. Mercury retrograding in that second house is a lot of back and forth and repeating when it comes to things you value. So be aware of that. Also, too, when that Saturn leaves that house of finances, so the burdens of finances and what you value starts to leave, and then it moves into that third house, your voice. Get ready for that, or your community is going to be holding you back in delays, but it will conjunct Neptune in that third house, so you'll be restricting how you think. Your mind is moving from logic to prophecy. You are building a new way of communicating from radical ideas to your world. A lot of homeless in the community when you got Neptune and Aries, and they're very aggressive, so be aware of that. But that Saturn at the beginning will limit them, and then as the Saturn separates, a lot of lessons around that. Okay, let me see. Mars Uranus squares at the end of the month, changes around. A lot of sudden changes. Stay grounded. Anger erupts if you felt restricted. Choose liberation, not destruction. Break cycles consciously. This month is going to bring new opportunities in finances, in work, and in health. Very positive. The Three of Wands, you're moving forward. There's momentum. There's change. You're fired up. You're ready to go, maybe even see the world. Five of Cups, this is grief. This is loss. This is looking at what you lost, but not looking at what you have. This is also change in emotions. So be aware of that. That's what we have for you in the month of February. All right? Bye. Okay, Pisces, in the month of February, Saturn is leaving that first house, which is great. You're like, I am tired of the lessons that I have to learn. It's going to move in that second house, and then it'll conjunct first of all, it'll be leaving the self and going into finances. You've already had these lessons, but here it is. It will conjunct Neptune. So if you dream big, you will get it in return. You are finally materializing your magic. You're learning how to turn your visions into literal cold hard cash. This is a birth of wealth strategy. Take advantage of it. On a negative side, it's like, where are the finances? The government is taking my finances, but focus on the positive side of it, all right? Now, you had an eclipse in the 12th house. This could be a death of a friend of some sort. At the same time, this is a lot of healing, forgiving, releasing happening when it comes to anything dealing with your future technology, a network, a social group. All that happened, and then you have the full moon on the 1st. And your day-to-day work and your day-to-day travel, not day-to-day travel, your work, your health, a lot of emotions there. And it's going against something that needs to end and close up, or maybe even something that's very confusing. Mercury retrograde is happening in that first house too. So Saturn leaves, and now there's rumors about the self. You may feel muted, misunderstood. People are not listening to you. Be aware of that. Aries, Saturn, when it enters Aries, asks you to take talent seriously and build something sustainable from your gifts. A lot of conversations will be revealed, and it may reveal some uncomfortable truths because you do have the Sun and Mars this month in that 12th house of secrets and hidden things, squaring the third house. Squaring that third house of communication. So things are going to be very different and unexpected, maybe even your community, and you're like, what? And it could be causing some anger there, okay? Emotional reactions or impulsive words could be the ripple effect as well. That 12th house, though, that eclipse energy, going back to that, there could be a psychic or emotional purge here. Whatever you've been hiding from yourself is revealed, and you are being freed from the subconscious prison as well. Let me see what else. I think that's what we have. Let's pull some cards, Pisces, because you love some cards, right? Let me see what we have for you. We have the Four of Swords. This is a time to rest your tongue. Don't say anything, especially when Mercury is retrograding in your sign. This is the Hierophant. Let's focus on key knowledge. Let's focus on tradition and sticking to traditions, especially with that third house Uranus Taurus energy. This also represents Taurus, okay? So going outside, being with nature as well. Lastly, a lot of research, gathering informations, collecting the data, preparing to, like, the energy to prepare to travel the world. The world is at their fingertips here, but you got to not go. This is the energy to stay. All right. Yes, that is what we have. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching your horoscopes for the month. Don't forget to thumbs up, like, and share all the content I do, all of the content regarding astrology and tarot. All right. I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.